My name is Jim Plum, your host for the GolfCast podcast. The GolfCast is a new industry-specific promotional podcast for golf businesses, golf courses, and golf travel entities. You can find out more information on our website at thegolfcast.com. Today, we're fortunate to have Tom Addis III from the SCPGA. Tom, say hi.
Yeah, morning, Jim. Morning, everybody.
Tom is the CEO and executive director. Tom, you are a longtime golf professional. You served as president of the PGA of America from 1995 to 96. You're also, until 2006, you served as the owner and president of Medallion Golf, a golf facility with design, construction, operations, and management services. I understand you have two sons in the golf industry, Tom.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate, Jim, over my lifetime. Yeah, it was a great fortune to serve as president of the PGA of America in 95 and 96, as you mentioned. Having the opportunity prior to that to sit on the PGA board, sit on the PGA Rules Committee. So that was fun and exciting. And I was at a golf resort in San Diego for over 30 years called Singing Hills, where I was the director of golf and began my PGA involvement there as well. So exciting. I started with the section in January of 06. After my stint as having my management company and driving 55,000 miles a year. And when the section came to me and asked if I was interested, it took me a while to think about it. And fortunately, my wife, Susan, said that it's my deal, it's my section, and you should do it. So in January of 06, that was it. And not regretted anything at all. It's been the most fun thing I've ever done. I do have a family that's in the game. My father was a PGA golf professional as well.
Wow.
And one of my mentors. And my son, Tom, the fourth, is in Asia. He builds golf courses. He's a shaper. He's been over there since 1994, done courses for Faldo and Montgomery and Nicholas and all that. So he's very successful. Then my son, Brian, is the general manager at the Crosby Club in San Diego. So very proud of our family. And my wife, Susan, owns 2 Rocky Mountain chocolate stores up in the town of Mammoth. So family's kind of busy.
You're very busy. And well, that's great. It sounds like a family at golf. And during your career, Tom, you've received several specific distinctions besides your National PGA Professional of the Year award. But I understand you're most proud of 2 awards. But talk first, if you can, the PGA Professional Development Award.
Yeah, Jim, I'm very fortunate to be involved in many ways and been honored in many ways, which I'm very, very appreciative, especially with the PGA Professional Development Award way back in 1981, which I think that's still on the calendar. But and in particular, because of education, I was heavily involved in the original PGA business schools for 19 years, as well as the development of other education programs, including the pathway towards where we are now in the professional golf management. So I took special pride in working with our PGA professionals and the golf community in education. Was fortunate to sit on the PGA of America Rules Committee, as I mentioned, which allowed me to do rules workshops with the USGA, and that was exciting and part of the education process. So with that, I'm very, very proud of that. And then in 2020, the section honored me, which I'm very proud of, the renaming our professional development award the Tom Addis Professional Development Award. So that's something I'm extremely proud of. The Railing Award is special to me, Jim, because number one, Conrad Railing was a very good friend of mine. We were partners in a couple of golf schools. He was from Alabama and also participated. And I was very privileged to be on the ground floor of the Special Olympics, golf being introduced as a official sport of the Special Olympics.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we started in the late 80s and with former President Dick Smith's assistance and a gentleman by the name of Joe O'Brien, we were able to work with the Special Olympics. And in 1995, at the games at Yale, the golf was introduced as an official medal sport. And so I take high pride in that and appreciate that very much. And that's why the Railing Award is so important to me.
You've had a great career in the golf industry. There's no doubt about that. The PGA section was founded in 1924. 8 years after the PGA was founded. So the SCPGA is almost 100 years old, Tom. And I was wondering if you could explain maybe the history of the sections and especially the Southern California section.
Yeah, the history of the sections, the PGA, as you mentioned, was established in 1916 in New York City, where people, by the way, can still visit the first meeting site. And it's now a Radisson Hotel, changed from the Martinique. But it's there, and the Radisson Company has maintained the mezzanine floor as a museum and a historical place where our meeting was. So that's kind of special. And the Southern California section, as you mentioned, was established in 1924 with 25 charter clubs. And what's interesting today about that is our first president, Jack Malley, was the golf professional at Annandale Country Club, Annandale Golf Club, where, I don't know if you know this, but Pat Riley, who preceded me as president of the PGA, passed away this past week. And Pat was at Annandale for over 30 years. And there will be his services today are in Pasadena, tomorrow, and a reception at Annandale tomorrow. So kind of gone full circle in that regard with Mr. Malley and now Mr. Riley and the celebration of Pat's life tomorrow at Annandale. And then we will celebrate in 24 with some special programs and looking forward to that.
Tom, the SCPGA's mission is to grow the game and serve the members. Can you kind of elaborate on the mission?
Yeah, in fact, grow the game. I prefer to say promote the game and develop players. That seems in today's world to be a little more meaningful, if you will, not to take anything away from the statement, grow the game, but primarily to stimulate interest in our game and in our sport. And really, if you look at the mission of the Southern California PGA, promoting the vitality of the game as well. And today, that's especially important, especially after going through COVID and golf being recognized as one of the safest activities, one of the safest healthy activities during that 2-year stretch, and still is. So I think the vitality of the game and that statement is really important to the growth and the sustainability of the game of golf.
Tom, I wanted to ask you the question I ask a lot here in our GolfCast program is, what's the one thing that people might not know about the SCPGA?
Jim, there's probably a few things that people might not know. I think one of the things that we're very proud of is, thanks to Jim Richardson moving into the section as our current PGA of America president, as the GM of Riviera, including Jim, we've had 5 presidents or former presidents of the PGA of America, with Joe Novak from Bel Air, the aforementioned Pat Riley, late Pat Riley from Annandale, myself when I was at Singing Hills, Paul Levy from Toscana over in the desert, and then, of course, Mr. Richardson. And, there's a couple of things that we're involved in that a lot of people kind of take for granted and may not know, Jim. Is we're very heavily involved in advocacy, whether it be for legislative resolutions that we tackle currently with the bills that are out there that will tend to take municipal golf courses that are underperforming and turn them into housing. And we have 225 municipal golf courses in California, and a few of those are at risk. And those are the seats for many people to play golf and learn the game. And we're concerned about that. And we're advocating against that, of course. And a lot of people don't realize how many alums from our Junior Golf Association that we have from the Junior Tour. We have right around 19 or 20 women, the same number of men on the PGA Tour. We're very proud of that, and a lot of people don't know that. So I think that's something, whenever I'm asked, that I like to put forth.
And Tom, you talked a little bit before, but I just wanted to come back and say, if you had what the single biggest misconception about the SCPGA, what would you say?
Jim, I don't know about misconceptions. I do want to say one thing, too, with our relationship with our allied groups, and in particular with the Southern California Golf Association, is we have come together to consolidate our 2 halls of fame into the Southern California Golf Hall of Fame. That will be rolled out this fall. So we're very, very proud of that. I don't know if misconception would be the word, but I think there's a couple of things that people aren't familiar with. And you and I were talking and mentioned the PGA Tour. That goes back quite a few years and probably is more of a national thing. But a lot of people don't realize that the PGA of America owned what was then the tour. And up until 1967, when there was what a lot of people called a player revolt and the PGA Tour was formed. As a matter of fact, there was quite a split. And at that time, they even had two different qualifying schools. So it was interesting. And the PGA Tour really came about then and strengthened. We become partners through various years. We had what was called the basic agreement with the tour. In 1986, it spelled out different things. Then we redid the agreement. And a lot of people don't know this either, that the PGA of America actually owns the Ryder Cup. And the Ryder Cup.
Did not know that. Wow.
We have a PGA championship in May, and the Ryder Cup is wholly owned by the PGA. And in 1991, we restructured our agreements that even strengthened that hold on the Ryder Cup. And we're very proud of that. We're proud of our association with the tour. We sit on the tour board and have a say, input, I should say, into the governance of the tour. And a lot of people don't know that. And I think that's something that's always been of high interest to me.
Tom, I've learned a lot today, and I want to thank you for all your years of hard work and dedication to growing the game and serving the members of the SCPGA. This is Jim Plum, and it's been an honor to be your host on the GolfCast, and we appreciate you listening to our podcast today.